All right, this is going to be the first in a series of videos on how to find places to go metal detecting. And I'm going to give you some links. It's all online stuff. I'm going to give you some links to some sites that I use to research, and I'm going to show you how to use them because there's some little tricks in some of them. And the first couple of videos, I'm just going to concentrate on the Civil War. The last couple of videos, I'm going to concentrate on after the Civil War, like from the 1880s up to pretty much present. Both of them are going to give you a fantastic amount of information on what to do. All right, today we're going to start with what I consider, probably everyone considers that knows about it, the motherlode of Civil War history. And it's a series of books, 50, maybe 100 books. And you can buy this series of books. It's like $3,500, and I don't even know if that includes all of them. But they're free online, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a link on where to find them. But I highly recommend you watch the rest of this video because there's some tricks on how to get information out of those books. Tens of thousands of pages. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. It covers the Civil War from Pennsylvania to Texas, maybe in California, I'm not sure. But it's just a great resource. All right, what's it called? It's called, I'm going to have to read this, A Compilation of the Official Records of the Union and Confederate Armies, or the War of the Rebellion Official Records. Now, most people will just call it the official records or even the ORs. So let's go ahead, we're going to jump online. I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to best search this volume. Like I say, there's tens of thousands of pages to get the information that will help you find campsites and places where they may have had small skirmishes that won't be on any maps or anything like that. And there's a lot of those in there. You click the link that I provided, it's going to take you directly to this page. You see it's Cornell University Library. This is how you get into the official records of the Civil War. See right here, the War of the Rebellion, a compilation of the official records of the Union and Confederate armies. Not as many records for the Confederate armies, because of course most of those were burned toward the end of the war. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to go on down here a little bit, and you can see how it's separated out into the volumes. The volume 2 was written in 1880, operations in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia in 1861, kind of like the middle of 1861. We can go on down here a little bit. Well, here's the next one. Operations in Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, and the Indian Territory. Let's go down a little bit further, see what we have. And again, this is going to just keep going back and forth between the different places. This is operations in West Florida, Southern Alabama, Southern Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, and believe it or not, Arizona. They had battles in Arizona. So you got to pick in your area or the area you want to research. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to this one right here. This is my area. Operations in Northern Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, toward the end of 1862. Let's go ahead and click on operation. You can see this too. There's part 1 operations, part 2 reports. And this will have tons of information. Let's go ahead and click on this one first. That should take us to the next site, which is Hathi Trust. This is part of the Cornell University situation. Now, if you look here, you can see there's 1,232 pages in this one volume. But what we're going to do, so we don't have to scroll through everything, we're going to go here and do a search. So let's go ahead and do a search. Now, I'm going to pick a town close to me that had Civil War activity. This is Martinsburg. West Virginia now, it used to be Virginia during the first half of the war. Let's go ahead and do a search and see where they mention Martinsburg. All right, so we can look here, talking about a reconnaissance or recon from Shepherdstown, Maryland to Sharpsburg, Maryland to Shepherdstown and Martinsburg. Skirmishes, so that's they had a skirmish en route on this date, and you'll probably never read about that in any other book besides this. So popping on down, we can see there's the enemy is retiring via Charlestown and Martinsburg on the Winchester Road. Last night occupied Williamsport. Let's just go ahead and click on this and see what they're talking about. Now these are big general reports here. These aren't written by like the captains in the field or anything, but we can get some information out of here. They're talking about Charlestown, Martinsburg Road towards Winchester. Attachment crossed the river and advanced about a mile. Then they were attacked by a large body of the enemy. So we know they crossed, where they crossed the river, there was a skirmish right here about a mile outside of that crossing. Lying in ambush in the woods. I'll show you how you can figure out where the woods were back then. Driven back across the river with considerable loss. So this would be a good place actually to look for stuff in the river. Made his appearance at Williamsport, 4,000 cavalry, 6 pieces of artillery, 10,000 infantry, and it's going to go on to tell you kind of what they did. This was written in Sharpsburg, Maryland. That's the Battle of Antietam area, near Sharpsburg. Enemy is retiring via Charlestown and Martinsburg on the Winchester Road. So those are all good places to check. And the thing is, there's going to be many, many more places local. So we're going to go ahead, and what you want to do is just go ahead and scroll through and look for places near you that weren't found under the Martinsburg search. Near Shepherdstown, real close to where I grew up and close to Martinsburg. Okay, talks about Lee being opposite my position at Leetown between Shepherdstown and Martinsburg. So you know this camp in Leetown. Go on down, doesn't say where it is, but you see Martinsburg here, Charlestown, and you just get a ton of information out of here. All right, so let's go ahead and pop back to the. I have to just keep reading these things. Across the river and McCoy's Ferry. And I'll show you later how to find where McCoy's Ferry is in another video. Green Spring, West Virginia. That's a river, I had some luck there at one point. Just tons of information, and you have tens of thousands of pages of this stuff you can go through. I'll repeat this just one more time, because this is, to me, is really important. Even though you do a search like for Martinsburg, you might want to search for other towns nearby, because if it doesn't mention Martinsburg in the book, you won't find anything. Other towns I could search for near Martinsburg might be Shepherdstown, Harper's Ferry, Cabletown. I could do searches for all of those. This is something I want to talk again. I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but in New Creek, this was in West Virginia, or it was West Virginia in '64, Virginia earlier. It's not called New Creek anymore. This is called Kaiser. So you might have trouble finding information for Kaiser because it did not exist in that name during the Civil War. I'll show you a little bit about how to figure out that kind of stuff. But just by being in Martinsburg, we're hitting New Creek not too far away. All right, so I hope you figured that out. I hope I didn't miss anything. Let's check on out of here. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed that. And like I say, that is the probably #1 site you should try to use. It may take you weeks or years to get through all the information, but I tell you, it's just a great resource for finding the sites and just general history of the war. Next time we're going to stick to the Civil War, but we're going to do something totally different. Hope you join me then.
She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for eternity. Mother Earth, she's got her secrets she's promised to keep, hidden in her dirt or deep in her creek. Mother Earth, she ain't saying exactly what she's saving.